All right, folks, good Thursday morning. Let's go ahead and get airborne with our final free day of live trading and training here at Top Gun Options. We are doing some good work this week. Hopefully everybody's been having a good time. We already talked through that. But as of right now, folks, you're kind of at decision range for all the free people that are in the room. Before I jumped on here, there's about 17-ish. I know Susie's working on some people who had emails or had some questions, but plus or minus a handful, there's only about 17 slots left, which probably will go by the end of today, obviously. So how do we do so far this week in our full throttle? 5 winning trades, 1 losing trade, and 68.50 in profit in 3 days. Okay. All those trades were placed in the Hunters, which you can join today. And also, obviously, the Lifetime, the Max Afterburner group. So technically, that paid for 2 years, 2.2, 2 years and 2 months of membership in 3 days, in a market that's literally been doing this all over the place, up, down, sideways, all over. So hopefully, by this point in the week, you've seen how we've proven to you that you can potentially profit in any market condition. Okay, so I can drag you all the way to the water. I can't make you drink. Again, Solo Amazon is Monday morning at 10 a.m. I'm going to invite you guys to that. That'll be your last free thing. It's not part of Full Throttle, but I'm going to show you the Solo Amazon service in case you just want to really, really kind of dip your toe in the TGO water. You're in Full Throttle right now. And then I think next Friday, my brother Bart, who's back from the Maldives, those places. He's back on planet Earth. So next Friday, I'll open up the doors to Tomcat Charts in case you want to add some charting to your investing and your trading. And then obviously, like I said, today you can get into the Hunters. If you're just ready to do some options training, this is Full Throttle, man. And I'm scheduling one for October, folks. It takes a lot. Doing those once a quarter is a shit pot of work on my part. So, we might be moving those to twice a year because a call's a put is a put. But we will do one in October. I just got to block out a serious amount of time. Make sure once you become a member today that you go watch the previous Full Throttles. A call's a put is a put, a spread is a spread. The intel around when we're using them changes. That's why I like to do them quarterly. But again, you can go watch the old ones for now. Full Throttle, today you can get into the Hunters. You could have gotten access to all of those 6 trades that I placed, 5 winners and 1 loser. You could have made potentially $68.50 today, as of today, nearly $7,000 this week. That's pretty good. I've had better weeks, I've had worse weeks, but that's this week. This is why I don't do these marketing presentations, man. Hey, come be part of our multi-speaker event. I'm like, I want to do some live trading. No, just you have 32 minutes to speak. I'm like, that's dumb. If anybody buys anything from me after 32 minutes, they're an idiot. So I open up the doors. You got to come in here for 4 live sessions. Go over to Trustpilot and read the reviews, or go over to Facebook and read the reviews, 4.9 and 4.8. That's pretty damn good. Quick reminder, there's the primary every Tuesday at 10. Weekly, we did yesterday at 10. And today you're in AR, which is accelerated retirement, longer dated trades, excuse me, which you're going to talk about this. So, yeah, Benoit, I need to keep it fresh, man. I don't want the man tracking me. So, I got to shave every once in a while. Well, not only that, but if you're a Mets fan, make sure you watch Saturday night's game at 7:10 because you're going to see me. I'm the veteran of the game or something like that. So I think in the 3rd inning or something like that. I don't throw out the first pitch. I don't believe, because I'd suck. But I think they just whatever. So I shaved for that. They have a couple Mets fans in here. Tony. Every one of the good questions. So that's a very good question. Tony's like, okay, what were the potential downsides on each one of those trades? Each one of those was an iron condor. Each one of those had a max risk of about $3,300. Okay. So Tony, when you get a chance, go watch the replays. On Monday, the iron condor made $4,200 with $3,300 in risk. The next day was also another iron condor with about 3,300, but it got blown out to the downside. So only quote lost about, I think it was $1,200. And then yesterday was an iron condor risking around 3,200, 3,300 that made 37.80, 37.50. And I can sit here and we can go. So you can go. So Tony, when you join, you can scroll all the way up in the hunters here, and you can see where I post all my trades, and you can do the math as well. So yeah, great question. What was the risk on those? Usually my max risk per trade is about $5,000, but guess what? When you leg into an iron condor, it offsets the risk. It reduces the risk from what I usually risk to a little more than half of that, which is fantastic. That's why in this whipping around market, I'm going to do another one. I have a bear call spread on right now that if you logged in early, you saw it, that could potentially make $2,400 today. Right there. It's already up about $300 right now, but let's analyze this trade. This trade has a max risk of $5,000 and can potentially make, with a 78% probability, will make $2,400 today. Now, let's go take, I didn't mean to start with this, but Tony asked a good question. Let's go look at this. So I have a bear call spread on right now that expires at the end of today. It's all the way up here. So this trade will make money as long as the S&P doesn't go blow through that. But just like yesterday, look at this. Look at yesterday being a heart rate monitor. If you have a range-bound trade on, which is called an iron condor, you have a bear call spread up here and a bull put spread down here. As long as it stays in those uprights, you can make max profit on both of those trades. So right now, I have a bear call spread on for today up here. And if this kind of, we do a serpentine down here and it's not imploding for whatever reason, I'll probably throw on a bull put spread down here. Okay. And we can talk through that tactic. We're in accelerated retirement. We're going to get a little bit more strategic, but good question. Love it. So it's limited risk, right, folks? This is anytime you do an options trade, you know exactly what your max potential loss is. You should never squeeze the trigger on any trade until you know what your max potential loss is, right? Yeah, I'll give you the link right now and the replay page. So here is, and let me explain this real quick, okay? The annual membership is the best deal, okay? If today's trades work out, we could have close to $10,000 in profit this week, period. I mean, that's just, so there's 3.5 years of your annual membership potentially done this week, paid for this week. So that's the best deal. You get all your full throttle training to learn how to trade options, and you get access to the Hunters Investment Club over here. Very active group of traders. I post everyone. Look, this was this morning at 9:51. I posted the bear call spread in here, folks. Looks like Andrew's jumping on some stuff. Awesome. This is good. So today you join, you do the annual or the monthly hunters. You get access not only to all the full throttle stuff that you got to see this week, you get access to that self-directed investment club. Okay. The annual is the best deal. This one is if you want to try out full throttle and the hunters for a couple months. It's only $497. If you're not ready to actively trade with real capital, hey man, I'm still in the learning environment. Awesome. That's only $295. Went out to dinner last night at 60 Vines with my bride and another couple, and the wine was more than $295. So again, as of me sitting in here right now, I've showed you, or at least the hunters, $6,850 in profit this week. Okay. So again, not death by PowerPoint this week, not death by PowerPoint in a 32-minute brief. I showed you all of this stuff live. Yeah, I'll show you the current bear call spread. It's right here. Here are the strikes. I sold 15 of today's 3970 calls. That's me saying I don't think the S&P 500 goes above 3970 today. Okay, Wiz, well, what if you're wrong? Well, if I'm wrong, I'm going to buy the 39.75 calls above it in case it does have this rip your face off rally. Okay. I got filled at $1.60. Okay. So $1.60. Let's talk about the bad right now. Okay. So let's look at this trade. When would I potentially eject out of this trade? This is all the stuff you're going to get in full throttle training. I double the credit that I took in. I took in a credit of $1.60, right? Let's just $1.60 times 2 equals 320. If this trade starts going up towards around 320, that means the S&P is starting to rally and I'd potentially eject. That's when I would get out of the trade. Okay. And again, I'll teach you all of this in the full throttle training. There's trade checklists over here. Before you get into a trade, you know when you're getting out. You know when you're getting out for either max profit or minimum loss. 7, 8, 9 with a credit spread. If I'm looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on this credit that I took in, take the money and run. Close it. Nobody's gone broke taking a profit. Now, if you're sitting here going, Wiz, I was one of the 8% that doesn't even know what an option is. This is what I'm going to do in full throttle training. We're going to talk about bear call spreads for an hour to an hour and a half when the market's closed and we're hanging out. Okay. So, yeah, Aaron, that's what we call dogfighting, right? Yeah. If this thing starts, if it got on a rip your face off rally, you get out of those short calls and you let the long calls run, right? This is what we did the other day as the market imploded. There was some good dogfighting going on in that. So, okay. But we'll see. The market yesterday went right down the fairway at 39.50 for like hours yesterday. So, and I'm going to teach you in your training, that bear call spread has what we call theta. It's got time decay. So every second that goes by, I am making money on that trade. Every second that goes by, it's called theta. It's time decay. So look at this, just like we did. Let's go. Let me zoom out a little bit. That's not zooming out, mouse. So here's the open yesterday. Implosion, bounce, channeled. And then usually mid to late afternoon is when you get some. This is, I got to be honest with you, in Chicago, here and here is when dudes and ladies are at their desks. This is nothing. This is me. I'd go play racquetball in the SIBO racquetball place. We'd go work out. We'd go have a couple tin sandwiches for lunch. This is dead time. The biggest moves usually happen at the open and into the close. I'm going to teach you all this stuff, guys. So, Andrew, I am going to do that. I'll do kind of a dog fighting brief. Okay, it'll be for but if you get into the hunters today, you will get access to the hunters and do all of that stuff. Okay, so the bear call spread that I put on is already up. What was it? Just up $400. So you could have closed that bear call spread by now in 15 minutes and made 200. You could have paid for a month in the past 15 minutes with that trade. Okay. Again, I just open up the doors. You're in accelerated retirement. Now I'm done talking. Now we can get into accelerated retirement because I don't want to sit here. Steve, good question. Do you look at overseas Asian and Euro markets before the U.S. Open to get a sense of how the day might develop, or only look at SPX price action? Steve, today I look at nothing Asia and nothing Europe. It does not matter. Previously, absolutely. There are some times when I'm, up at midnight type of thing, but nope, not anymore. Why? Because we are in an environment right now where it's Jerome Powell. It's the Fed. 2-3 years ago, when Donald Trump was president, we were having remember these broadsides in the trade war? Donald Trump, all right, now we're in a trade war. Boom, boom. Oh my God. We were trading, look it up, FXI. That thing was insane. Long answer to your short question is not right now. It doesn't matter. So the FXI is the iShares China large cap ETF, but let's see if the 5-year chart kind of shows it when Trump was still beating this thing around. Yeah, these were big trade war swings, right? Well, that was COVID right there, but these were all trade wars. So yeah, Europe really doesn't matter to me anymore either, because it's all about Christine Lagarde and the ECB. They're doing what the Fed's doing, 75 basis points. Yep. So exactly, Kenneth. We were in the Max Afterburner group, the Lifetime group. We were actually moving FXI on some days. We would all get into a trade at an agreed upon price at a set time, and we would sit there and you would watch it move. We might get back into doing that. Just trying to make a movie, start a foundation again is eating up a lot of bandwidth, but that was a lot of fun, man. So, all right. Yeah, the link is in the chat box. go.topgunoptions.com/ft-hunters. We're going to close the doors, folks. I'll show you solo Amazon Monday morning, but as far as full throttle, if you're not grabbing today, we're going to be getting airborne with that yet. Yeah, the replay page is right here. go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. Stands for full throttle replay. Let me send you that. Yeah, it was the good old days, wasn't it, Tamara? Before a biological attack by China on the entire world. Remember that? January of 2020. I remember saying this. We will remember that as the good old days. Trump had beaten 2 impeachments. China had surrendered in the trade war. The market was at record highs. Unemployment was at record lows, especially for minority groups, African American, Hispanics. We were on top of the world, man. Davos, January of 2020, all the beautiful people. Ray Dalio, cash is trash. And then I started hearing stuff. Wrote a book about it, COVID crash. Okay, any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, before we get airborne. Buy the annual to get into Hunter's truly undervalued service. Thank you, Andrew. He's right. At $6,000, it was appropriately priced, folks. At $6,000, I would have paid for your full throttle annual membership this week, but I didn't. I paid for 2 years because coming back from the second time I did the medicine on an airplane, I'm like, you know what, dude? A storm is coming. I did this, guys. Flying back from San Diego, second time I did the medicine with my journal. I said, you know what? I'm going to be right. Joe Biden's sophomore year will be a shit show, train wreck, recession, bear market. I nailed all of it, except the recession, because they changed the definition. You're not in something that we say we're not in. What? You heard me. All right, let's go. Did everybody do their homework? Your homework was to watch this, my initial journey debrief. And clearly, at least 150 of you did, because it's gone up. Let me give you this again in case you failed to do your homework. Not going to go super deep into this. You have to. This makes me smile. The fact that, my brother Ponch, who's in here, sent this to his brother Slider, who was just he was on the edge. And in last week's podcast, shameless plug, Slider's like, dude, that your initial journey debrief was like saved my life. I'm like, holy shit. I don't know the effect that a lot of what we were doing here has until you kind of hear something like that. So shameless plug, go listen to Sliders 2 debriefs. You think you have a tough life? Everybody has a tough life. But when you kill 12 innocent Iraqis and you did everything right, it kind of haunts you. And it can burn you down. So where are you going, Wiz? Exactly where we're supposed to be going, in accelerated retirement, because I want you to strap in for the only place on the face of this planet that I am super bullish. I could not be more bullish on the psychedelic sector, period. That's it. Not to regurgitate, if you did a lot of your homework, I sent, as part of the full throttle registration, I sent out my initial podcast debrief. I forgot about the YouTube video. This is it. this space will change the world. That's not hyperbole. That's not me talking out of my ass. It's a fact. It already is. It has changed and saved my life. It has saved and changed other people's lives at Top Gun Options and further. I shared, Monday morning, I shared with my solo Amazon members, a lady. I have to tell you this story because all of you weren't in, the free people weren't in solo Amazon Monday morning. I was late, never late to a brief. I think this is the second time maybe in 13 years at Top Gun Options. So got done yoga months ago, was sitting outside the studio dying. And this just older lady sat down, we just start to chit chat. She was in there as well. What do you do? What do you do? I briefed her on No Fallen Heroes project and what we're doing to try and save lives. And she looked at me and she said, my son was a heroin addict. He was a drug addict. I had a plane ticket and reservations for him to go to the Mission Within, which is where I went. She said 5 years ago, I had heard about that place and I had a plane ticket for my son to go to treatment, and he died of an overdose the day before, days before he was supposed to go. And I was like, oh my God. It was heartbreaking. And she's like, man, I just, because I told her about seeing my father, seeing my sister, and the healing gift from God, just the absolute healing that provided me. And she's like, wow, maybe, I can't travel to Mexico, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, I have friends just north of here in Titusville where they shoot off rockets. They do psilocybin journeys. You don't have to go to Mexico. It's called Finely Detached. And I connected her with the beautiful guy I did a podcast with him. His name's Gabriel. He's on one of my podcasts. So I'm breaking my train of thought because we can always talk about saving lives. That trade that I showed you is up $1,000 right now as the S&P slams. So now I might put on the bull put spread of that. But if you had 10, 15 minutes ago when I showed you this order on the screen, you would be up $869 right now. You're welcome. So Donna, her name is Donna, contacted Gabriel, and talk about a hard life, man. The lady's son dies of an overdose, and her birthday is September 11th. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. She's like, I am going to go up and do a journey for my birthday. And I said, oh my God, that's great. Susie and I are going to hold space for you at home. And she went this weekend, and I saw her at yoga. She walked up to me with her daughter, and she didn't look like her. She looked completely different. And I was like, oh my God, because she wrote on one of my posts over like Monday or Tuesday, she's like, we need to talk. I'm like, oh shit. It was just that. It wasn't like we need to talk with a hard or happy face. I'm like, uh-oh, I don't like we need to talks. But I stood there for an hour after yoga. That's why I was late to solo Amazon, because she told me about her experience. She cried the entire time. She's like, I didn't know I cried. I'm like, at certain points, I'm like, is it leaking in there? She's like, it was an energy release. I'm not going to get into all of it. I'm just telling you, but she couldn't thank me enough for giving her life back. She said, I'm going into my 62nd year without any baggage for the first time in my life. And I was like, wow. She's like, I feel free. I feel new. I feel healed. That fucking blew me away. And the daughter, young, 20s or something like that, she's like, can I, I think the medicine might be calling to me. What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. So I put her in touch with our director of medicine operations, Nicole Fox, and she might actually, it sounds like she wants to go to the Mission Within where her brother was supposed to go, and she wants to experience the medicine where he was going to be. So, long rambling story as to this space, and I don't hate anything. That's the wrong word. Every once in a while, I have to check myself as we move it from this is what this does and saving lives to making money off of it. But guess what? Based on what I did in the COVID crash and the money I made for people, I threw it right into the foundation. Bought 2 jets too, but that's, using those for the foundations too. Very good questions, folks, in the chat box. So Steve, very, very smart question. When will Big Pharma enter into the psychedelic space? And is there risk they will fuck it up or kill it? So Steve, brilliant question. I'm going to give you the most brilliant answer. God, source, truth, divine, whatever I experienced, I prefer to use the word God, but I can't. How do you put a word to something that you can't define? Whatever that is a pretty damn smart chemist or pharmacologist, because you can't patent a root. You can't trademark a toad. So these healing medicines that have been used for thousands of years, which we made illegal 50 years ago, but now we're starting to go, well, that was dumb. Everything that humans needed to heal was provided to us on this planet. Now, I get there are, quote, life-saving drugs. I get it. And there's appropriate use of those. But whether it's Adderall, it's the opiates, it's the horrific drugs. So, Steve, back in April, I think it was, I spoke at the Miami, it was the Benzinga Psychedelic Capital Conference. So, in answer to Steve's question, I can find the keynote that I gave for it. It's on the Top Gun Options page. There you go, baby. Keep going. 39.35 on the S&P. Now you're up 12 to 1,300 bucks on that trade. You're welcome. So that's 5 months. And so if you just closed that trade, if you had placed that trade and closed it, you got 5 months of this or 2 months of that. As I sit here, we're making money. Isn't that awesome? We can sit here and make money and talk about saving lives. So, Steve, Big Pharma, this is going to shock many of you, but Big Pharma speaks with forked tongue. On one hand, we have people at TGO who are in the scrum of trying to get the DOD and the VA to, and they are, and the FDA, and even the DEA. The DEA is pretty damn close, according to Rick Doblin at MAPS, of descheduling MDMA. My brother Daniel Carcillo with WeSana Healthcare. There you go, 1,300 bucks, 1,400 bucks. Keep going, baby. So right now, let's talk about a little SOP. If you can make 50, 60%, and we're still going, in an hour, close it. Take the money and run. And we might reload into a, let me go down here to 65 cents. So 1,400 bucks in 25 minutes. Can I get a hell yeah if you like 1,400 bucks in 25 minutes? If you all didn't exist, I'd be very unhappy. But if you all didn't exist, I would have done this by now, and I'd be going to the gym and then to the beach. 25 minutes of work, and we're done. Okay, so yeah, Mike, I'd probably look at a bull put spread, but I'm going to wait. Why? Because I don't know why the market just turned like that. Something bad happened. This is why you got to be in the groups, because I can get some intel as to potentially why this thing imploded. No, it wasn't. No, we had a slew of crappy macroeconomic data this morning. Do you all see this? Well, this is my job to brief you on it. Core retail sales. Shit. The Philly, look at this, folks. 6.2 Philly Fed. We were looking for a slowdown to 2.4, negative 9.9 on the Philly Fed. The cap rate, industrial production. There was some shitty, retail sales were okay. The Empire Fed was less shitty up here. So kind of a mixed bag of macroeconomic data this morning. Sid, I'm going to answer that too. Yeah, but now, and I hate doing this, but since we are full throttle, I'm going to show you this stuff because what do I hate doing? And I hate using the word hate. That's one of my things I have to stop using. It might be time to now go with the bull put spread down here. Let's see if we get some confirmation. 2 minutes gambling, 4 minutes aggressive, 6 minute confirmation on, see, I have a 2 minute chart up here, is 6 minutes kind of a confirm. There you go, Paul. $278 on one spread in 5 minutes. So Paul just paid for a month. There you go, folks. Again, no 78 PowerPoint slides, and here's what you'll get. This is, you're in what you get, and I'm making you money. This is one of those times where I'm like, if people don't sign up after this, I kind of don't want them to be members, to be honest with you. So not doing a bull put spread yet because I don't have confirmation. 1 minute is ADHD. 3 to 5 minutes is too long. 2 minutes, this is after 32 years, 33 years of doing this. I'm a 2 minute chart guy. I'll teach you all this, guys. Let's get back. But I have my other screens up. We might even do a bear call spread here because it might be, let me drop in something down here. What's that, 39.10? No, we're not going to do anything. So if you didn't close your bear call spread yet, you're making even more money. Okay, back to Steve. Down in Miami, folks, and our folks who are in some positions of power in DC, Big Pharma is doing both. They are MFing psychedelics. Crazy and unlicensed and dangerous. Coming from Big Pharma, that's pretty fucking hysterical. They made the opioids. I watched one the other night that the company behind paid like a $5 billion, whatever. Steve, here's the flip side of it. They're doing everything in their power to kind of build a moat around some of the things. Let me give you an example. As I'm sitting there in Miami, all these booger eaters and CEOs and doctors, they were all giving these presentations about how, so, the average psilocybin journey you don't know if you took the right amount. It might take 6 hours. It will be a 1 hour experience. You come into the clinic, it's immediate onset, it's 1 hour, and then you're done. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then, of course, I'm sitting next to our director of medicine operations, and she gave me that look like, it's actually not cool. It takes, set and setting, right? What's your mindset going into the meeting setting? That Miami conference had a tinge of, we're Starbucking this or McDonald'sing it. And she grounded me and brought me back to, there's something to be said about, but again, it's going to be very hard to quote, to get the FDA behind, like, well, how much of a dosage of mushrooms for a person, 150, right? Because, all the drug companies are used to these and that and math and everything like that. So very long answer to your short question is they see the incredible power. When I talked to Marcus Capone a while ago, he's like, dude, VC, venture capital funds are all over the psychedelic space. Senator Kerry, the hero, not the traitor. There's a Senator Curry, who is a Navy guy, who's a disgusting person. And then there's Senator Bob Kerry, Democrat, but good dude, lost his leg. He was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam. He is in a massive venture capitalist firm. This is massive, folks. But let me warn you about this space. Oh, good. Close the bear call spread, 60% profits. Thanks, Wiz. You are welcome, Randy. Skip, did the medicine give you any issues like a stomach rumbling or ache after taking? Nope. Skip, the medicine hits everybody different. If you listen or you know about our project with No Fallen Heroes, Bart, who runs Tomcat Charts, Bart had a good purges, and purges some more. But again, whether it's ayahuasca or ibogaine, they don't call it getting sick, like, throwing up, because that's not it. It's an energy release. Like Bart's like, I don't even remember. He's like, I just felt this darkness and everything like that. And then all of a sudden it was gone. I'm like, yeah, dude, it sounded like you were dying. He's like, I haven't felt better. So Skip, it didn't do any of that to me, but I can't predict what would happen. Sid, how do you determine which protocol is best? Psilocybin, ibogaine. Sid, that's why we have, my beautiful bride is going through 6 months of training to be an integration counselor and coach. We currently have a director of medicine operations who you can talk to. There's psychologists that we have. Cynthia, who was my god, she works with all the medicine. The medicine will call to you, but we have enough people where you will get briefed on all the different potential choices and kind of choose or select. So right here, folks, underneath this is my foundation, kind of all the links to everything. It's insane how much, where is it? This is a good one. The legal psychedelic industry, more veterans, here you go. This is a good one. I love the headline of this one. Magic mushrooms for therapy. Vets help sway conservatives. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats are all over this. San Francisco, decriminalized. Oregon, legal. Texas, at least. Good job, Governor Abbott. I'm giving Ron DeSantis a ton of shit. There's your confirmation on the S&P for a bull put spread. I told you to wait. Look at that. I told you 6 minutes. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. 2, 4, 6. And now we got a turn here. So I'd wait 2 more minutes to see if you get a confirmation here, because this could be an implosion, dead cat bounce, implosion. So I'd hold. This would be an aggressive bull put spread down here. Which would it be? Let's go look at the straddle. And again, if you have no idea what I'm doing, people in here right now had no idea what I was doing when they became members too, and now they're doing it. You can too. This is not hard, guys. I guarantee you. Let me look at it real quick. Wow, rate, for today, underneath, maybe 3,900, a 3,935, maybe. But hang on, see, 38.95. Buy the 38.90s. Nah, there's not enough. 3,900 is a round number, folks. Look at this. I told you, what did I tell you earlier in the week? I said by Friday, we hit 3,900. That's confirmed. Now you got, look at this, 246. I'd fire the $5 above this. Let's look at the chart. 246. Go, 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 go. Boom, there's the print. 246. That's the confirmation right there. I'd probably go a little higher. Right around here, the 10.05. I'd sell 15. Let me just keep this open over here. I just want to make sure this isn't a head fake slam. Let me sit on that one. I'll look at it. I'll keep an eye on it over here. So, veterans help sway conservatives. Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor, Jared Taylor, had to drag Dan Crenshaw out to his ranch, Valhalla, to convince him. And Dan Crenshaw is now on board. Here's a great article. You ready for this one? Rick Perry, former governor of Texas, former presidential candidate, conservative Republican. This is in Texas Monthly. I want you to read this article. Rick Perry, drug pusher. Rick Perry stole my line. I think he even uses it in this article. Rick Perry says, 5 years ago, me running for president, if I heard me calling for the legalization of psychedelics, I'd kick my own ass. Turn your recorder on, Rick Perry said, and I'll tell you how the right-wing, knuckle-dragging conservative Republican governor of Texas even allowed his name to be used in the same sentence with psychedelics. You know why? Marcus Luttrell. Marcus Luttrell lived with Rick Perry. You gotta read this, guys. So conservatives are fine. Look at that. I told you to see hair in the back of my neck. I told you to wait. I had that bull put spread under the trigger, and I'm not going to pull it. What did I say? I want to wait to see if this is a dead cat bounce, and it is. So if anything, it would be bear call spread time. I see this stuff, and when I see stuff like this, I want to point it out so there's learning that occurs. So here we go. Or not here we go. We're already in it. I could not be more bullish on this space. There is a big gap, I will tell you. When I flew over to Houston and I had a dinner with a bunch of rich oil billionaires, there was the head doctor from the Dell School of Medicine, right? The Dell School of Medicine at the University of Texas has a psychedelic arm now. And you know what the psychedelic arm is started with? Gold Star spouses. They are doing a psilocybin treatment regime with, it's the majority of women. It's women, actually. Gold Star spouse females. And you know what Gold Star means. I sat there as this doctor. I got what he was doing, right? My friend brought a vet in. Each table of billionaires had a vet like me who had done the medicine so we could interact with the people at our table. The people at our table were blown away by my story. But when the doc got up from the School of Medicine, about literally 20 minutes into his talk, I'm not joking, the Holy Spirit made me stand up. And I gently, took the mic and then helped, because he was going full on booger eating about the studies and the this and the math and the science, because there's a bridge, folks, in the psychedelic space. There's people like me, Slider, Sledge, my wife, who can tell you anecdotally what we experienced and how we feel now and what changed. That's all what? It's either all lies, we're all full of shit, or you can't quantify that. How do you put into an Excel sheet the fact that I got to see and heal from my sister's death? You can't. So the doctor sides of the house are doing all their booger eating with Excel sheets, and that there's a massive gap right in the middle. And I can personally tell you what I think is in the middle, and you can probably draw a conclusion. I don't know if those two if that bridge is ever going to meet. I don't think it's supposed to. Because even the doctor, after I got up and said, let me tell you, because the people at my table had heard my story, and they're like, oh my God, how do I get this help? There's a space right in the middle that I don't think, you guys know what I think's right in the middle there. So, thanks so much for this week, Wiz. I learned a lot more than I expected. Bill and I are leaving for India. Oh my God, man. You and Wild Bill, and Nepal. Coming home for a few weeks and then off to Antarctica for about a month. Look at you guys. I'm sold about TGO. Sweet, but need to wait till I'm in a place where I have access to TGO on the internet. Is it best to wait till we're home again, or till you offer another training week? Stormy, let me know when you're back. I will save. You got a slot. So Stormy, incredible female veteran, a meteorologist in the Air Force, married to a just insanely awesome spy air crew for the MC-130. So Stormy, safe travels. But yeah, Susie and I will hook you up. But yeah, you'd be getting a text alert about a trade at the top of Kathmandu or something like that. But all right, so before we look at names in this space, before we look at names you can invest in this space, I have to tell you what this looks like to me, this space, the psychedelic space. The psychedelic space, since this isn't my first rodeo, looks exactly like the internet in 1999. Okay, what do I mean by that? There's a pets.com, there's a Netscape, there's an Amazon, and there's a Google. So in 1999, if you invested in two of those and got them both wrong, you lost all your money. If you invested in two of those, you're a billionaire. Right now, the psychedelic space is the Wild West. My brother Cody actually nailed it perfectly. He said, hey, man, this is the year of consolidation. Down in Miami at the psychedelic conference, Mr. Wonderful, what's his name? Kevin O'Leary was on the stage as he opened it. And he's like, and it's funny because the announcer's like, hey, you're staying for the next 2 days, right? The cannabis conference. He's like, nope, would not put a dime in the cannabis, not even look at it. It's like, for a bunch of reasons that made sense. But I think Cody's in this article. Psychedelic sector shifting gears. Yeah, exactly. Cody, let me give you this one. Cody Chandraw. He lives here in Boca. He's a good buddy of mine now. He's got about $350 million in the psychedelic space. So I listened to the dude. I saw him last week, and he's got some great intel. So, and Mr. Wonderful said the same thing. But let's just start doing this, writing them down. You can write them down. Cybin, CYBN. Write these names down. Cybin, as in psilocybin. Cybin. Now it looks like the SPX is getting into a lower range. So we might kind of reload, but do it down here. Yesterday, that 39.35 was weird into the close, 39.35. But this is good. So I showed you live. We made $1,400 here, and then I'm like, yeah, no. And then that was a good call. We might be setting up for another slam here, and then we'll do a bear call spread. So Cybin is one of them. Compass, CMPS, is another one. Write that down. When you join and you're in AR, I'm going to give you this brief, but for all the people who are like, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to join, I'm still putting the ladder down to tell you to get into these names. MindMed, Mind Medicine. Okay. Did a reverse 5-for-1 split. Got announced as part of a famous meme stock trader's portfolio, whatever. We can get into all this stuff. I'm just giving you the names. MindMed, Cybin, Compass, and then Atai, ATAI. If you, and real quick, if you're, because somebody just asked, what would you do with these? Buy the stock. This is Top Gun Options. I can't believe he just said buy the stock. Here's why you're going to buy the stock. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't trade stocks. I don't trade options on stocks under $10. They're an option. the stock price is the premium, is the option trade. So I wouldn't do that. I don't trade. Write that down. Wiz doesn't trade options on stocks under $10. Why? Question mark. They're an option. So for example, with Atai, I buy a couple thousand shares of the stock or whatever. But these, ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you, and I hate using this term, these are lottery tickets. One or two of these names are going to hit something big. Breaking news, Atai, bear call spread time. I knew it. That was going to be a dead cat bounce. Now we're going to slam. I said 3,900 by Friday, and I'm going to be right. Probably around the 39.45 strike would be a good bear call spread. Doesn't look like we're going back up to 39.50 today. But here's the poor man's way to do this. Let me give you exactly, Sid. Instead of the word hate, I will use distasteful or something. Here's what I do. Here's where you can go find what the biggest psychedelic names are. Why? Because they're in an ETF. Instead of picking a winner or a potential loser, why don't you just grab a basket of them? Where's the holdings? Right here. You ready? Take a screenshot of this, folks. Here are the public psychedelic names: Compass, Cybin, Atai, Celos. I haven't heard of that one. MindMed, Sage, I've heard of. So here is, if you don't want to go, well, Wiz, I can't pick individuals because I haven't done. Wow, look at that slam. 3,900, baby. If you're in the original bear call spread from this morning, you're up about $2,000 right now, and you can close it, or you can keep it because it's probably going to expire for max profit. So write these names down, folks, or if you have a little camera on the top of your window, you can grab a screenshot of these names. As you go, once you join, and as we grow together here at Top Gun Options, I hate talking. I distastefully, I don't like talking like this. But if you did watch Billions, like I asked you to, this is an Axe Capital moment. Me, your fellow TGO members, going through the medicine, we're becoming experts in this field. I am invited to speak at a conference. No, where is it? I gotta print this out. Convergence. There's a Convergence conference in LA. I am speaking and moderating a Veterans Are Healing Their Trauma with Psychedelics. Look at this. It's called Convergence. It's a massive, look at this. It's 3 days. All of the CEOs, the people in the space are going to be out there. What's this have to do with anything? And this is why I dislike talking like this. Because I'm getting SMRT. I am getting very, very smart at the space and who we should be investing in and who we shouldn't be investing in. Okay? So, retired Air Force captain. This is awesome. Dustin's going to be out there. I had lunch with Dustin a couple days ago. Isaiah, we might be potentially working with on some stuff right now that you'll hear about soon, hopefully. Absolutely. If you're out in the LA area, let me give you the link to this. There's concerts, there's music. You know where this thing is? This is a God moment. This is at the Wisdome. The event is at the Wisdome, baby. Yeah, I'll give you the link to this. Yeah, man, if you're in Southern California, come meet me at the event, man. Come watch the veterans panel I'm running. Back to investing. Look at that, man. 39. The people in the hunters or that are smart and listen to me when I say fire something and fire, make money. 39.45. I said I'd fire one right now at the 39.45, 39.50 strike, and look at the SPX imploding right now. Isn't it awesome learning? If you're new to this, if you're one of the 8% that I'm new to options, I just showed you how in X amount of time you can make money as the market goes down. That's usually the light bulb that really sells people. Like in all of my investing, I thought you buy something and you hope it goes up. Not me. I don't hope anything. Hope ain't a strategy. You're welcome. Good. Well, if that just paid for your annual membership, awesome. Yeah, I saw you guys doing that, Ponch. So Netflix and the Russell. So these guys over in the Max Afterburner are doing some good work. John closed the original bear call spread for an 80% profit. Thanks. You're welcome, John. Christina, there are several of us who are willing to talk to others if they want to hear our experiences. Please reach out. Did any of you who are like new to TGO, and this is like welcome to Full Throttle, think that by Thursday you'd be sitting in a live trade brief when we're talking about psychedelic medicine and investing? This is why at Top Gun Options we take a holistic approach here, man. This is just not about teaching you how to trade options. This is about life, man. And this is awesome. I might even bring the jet out or I might leave the jet out here after Miramar and keep this out here so I can take some of these people flying and make a splash here. I'm supposed to be, I got to fill out, that's what this email is. It's a contract. I need to fill out this contract and get them my picture. So I'm going to be on there as well. So back to making money. MindMed, Compass. Here's what I was getting at. SIL. Just buy the ETF for now. If you just want to be in the, hey man, I want to put some money kind of into this space instead of trying to pick a winner, there's an ETF called SIL, PSIL. It might not look like much, but again, folks, this isn't, I just made $1,400 in 15 minutes. This is buy and almost forget about it. This is in a year to next year, folks. I think Rick Doblin from MAPS, he's pretty damn good with his predictions. He believes by next year, by the end of 2023, the DEA will descheduleize or reschedule MDMA for therapeutic use, not to go party in Miami. It's to up until that nice soul and good person. I forget his name. He was on, it was like Phil Donahue or something like that the day they announced it. 1985, one of Ronald Reagan's war on drug guys who clearly had never done MD. Oh, and do you know what? His, what was that in? Oh, How to Change Your Mind on Netflix. They interviewed his widow and she's like, oh yeah, he died regretting doing that. You know, he changed his opinion later on in life. MDMA, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never experienced it, is insanely heart-opening. MDMA was legal for therapeutic use. Marriage counselors, take 2 of these and call me Monday. Or actually, don't call me Monday because you're not going to have to. It's an incredibly healing, that's a drug. Now, MDMA is chemical made in a lab. I personally prefer God as the chemist, but out of any, quote, drug, it's not addictive. And it's, you know, the more you take, the less it works. So it's kind of like plant medicine because God is a brilliant chemist. You can't, first of all, you can't overdose on psilocybin or MD. You can't overdose on any plant medicine. It's physically impossible because the more you take, the less it works. God isn't Bayer or Pfizer or any of these chemical close enough chemical companies. God wants to heal. Okay. So that was a weird tangent, but then buy the ETF. I mean, we actually moved this around a couple days. Everybody went in and like, hey, let's all buy 1,000 shares right now. Boink, goes up like 75 cents. But this is not, we are in accelerated retirement. Do not expect a massive return. The day that the FDA and the DEA have a press conference that says we are descheduling MDMA, all of these names will see an insane rip your face off rally. After MDMA, in my opinion, it'll be psilocybin will be the next one. It's already legal in Oregon, California, like 5 to 10 cities. It's already legal. At like Oakland, Sacramento, San Francisco, Oakland, Santa Cruz, Arcata, Oregon. So psilocybin will be after MDMA. It will be longer for ayahuasca, DMT, ibogaine, because they're just very good question. That was perfect timing, Jennifer. Here's the way I'll explain it. MDMA, ayahuasca, DMT, they're mom and dad. Mom and dad love you. They love you. They care about you. They want what's best for you. Ibogaine is the most powerful psychedelic on the planet, and it's granddad. Granddad loves you, but he's going to beat the shit out of you if it's needed. So I'll go get a switch. I'm going to tarnation. Look at me, man. I called 3,900. We've got about 13 points to go to make me right. If you listened to me 2 days ago when I said the S&P will be at 3,900 by Friday, and you did that, a bearish double vertical, you'd be printing money right now. You actually could have paid for a lifetime membership. So good question. That's so psilocybin should be next. But folks, again, I'm not going to drop anchor here. But I this entire foundation. You ready for this? Let me give you a high note here. I absolutely will credit the Biden administration for this. It's sad to say that people like me are having to drag conservatives along. Hey guys, this helped save and change my life. Can we do something? So let me close a couple of these. There we go. Biden administration plans for legal psychedelic therapies within 2 years. So folks, you're in accelerated retirement. The mission objective of AR, accelerated retirement, is to look down range at longer dated trades. These are it. This is it. I guarantee you, when you have big pharma scrambling, like, oh, holy shit, this is so life-changing. Ibogaine, watch the movie Dosed. Write that word down, D-O-S-E-D. One of the guys that we refer people to for healing, Trevor, is in the movie Dosed. It's this beautiful soul, this beautiful woman who is a horrific heroin addict. She goes through days and days of Ibogaine treatment, never looked at the stuff again. I think that's like an 85% success rate for heroin, folks. The studies that Trevor showed me, 85% of heroin addicts who go through treatment after 5 years, 85% of them have never used again. That's an insane number. If they told me 25 or 30, I'd be like, oh my God, that's life-saving. 85? Why am I rambling about this? Because Big Pharma loves nothing more than to have people hooked on methadone or whatever for the rest of their lives. Oh, well, we got you off heroin, but now you're on this for the rest of your lives, and your insurance is going to pay for it, or Uncle Sam will. This will change society. I've written this graph a couple times. I'm going to draw it again. Here's the graph of where we are. This world and this country are fucking imploding. War, potential nuclear war in Europe, war in Asia, war in the Middle East, raging inflation, political strife, an environment that's going to shit. We are doing this. At the same time, in the past couple years, psychedelics and healing is doing this. It's coming as fast as it can. I was hoping to God that our No Fallen Heroes project would really wake people up to it. I just saw Maverick. Yeah, nice action flick with actors. Here are real fighter pilots and air crew with real fucking trauma. We got to get to this point, folks. And psychedelics are going to get us there. I keep telling you that if, you could kidnap Vladimir Putin and throw him on a bed in Mexico, there wouldn't be war. We wouldn't be here right now. I guarantee you. So that's where I think we are, folks. And I'm trying my best, man. Speaking at conferences, doing videos, podcasts, social media to get the message out of this healing. The Netflix movie is Dosed, D-O-S-E-D. It's not magic, it's medicine. The first one is the one I watched. I don't know what the second one is. Maybe I should watch it. Okay. And we, we will, especially next week, we will definitely, because yes, Stormy, let me get you that right now. The name of the facility up in Titusville is Finally Detached. But Stormy, I want you to, I need to get you in touch with our director of medicine operations, because there is a center now in Orlando that focuses and specializes on veterans. Okay. So let me, There you go. So, Stormy, I just gave you Nicole's email address. Email her and say, hey, Wiz and I are buddies. Because it's escaping me, the Orlando place. It's run by veterans, and it's free for veterans, and they do ayahuasca. So the Titusville folks are psilocybin, which might be that's why you need to talk to Nicole to help find your modality, right? Because me doing ibogaine might not be right for you. Susie did psilocybin. You kind of find where you need to go. And wherever you end up is exactly where you're supposed to be. So I forget the name of the place in Orlando, but they do veteran journeys. It's out in the nature. It looks really cool. She's been speaking with them. I've kind of been out of the loop with the Orlando place. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Fantastic Fungi is another. I was blown away after I watched that. I love being on a live trade brief where we already made a shitload of money, and now we're talking about healing people. Fantastic Fungi. So this is another one you should watch, folks. This one, especially if you're considering I watched this like a year and a half ago when I started in this space, and it kind of freaked me out. And then I watched it again after doing the medicine, and it blew me away. Okay. All right. So I don't want to go too long, folks, but for all the people who are new, we're closing the doors in a little bit, but before you leave, go out and do some research on the psychedelic space. Hopefully you did your homework. If you didn't do your homework, this is homework. Even if you don't join TGO, folks, watch this video about my first journey. Cause I have pictures from, Mexico, what the treatment center looks like. I get into the tactics of this whole thing. Okay. So let me share with this. I talk about Marcus and Amber Capone, who provided me the avenue for my first healing. I'll find my second journey medicine debrief because I need to re-listen to that. I re-listened to this or re-watched it the other day, and I had tears in my eyes. There was some stuff that I had forgotten. Spreading the message and telling all of you about this is also part of my healing and my integration. This is awesome. Like tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, Slider's going to be on my podcast for his final episode for his podcast. And he's like, Wiz, talking to you on these two podcasts is helping me heal. It's part of my integration. So this is all awesome. If you're joining TGO right now, you are in an incredible position. Tony, hypothetically, how tricky, sensitive for a vet with airline job to proceed? Tony, I can tell you 11. 10, I don't know about the last guy. At a minimum, Tony, I know of 11 current veterans. Most of them are captains who have done the medicine. So, Tony, here's my answer. On the FAA form where it says, have you done any illegal drugs in the past 2 years? You can put no. Why? Ain't illegal in Mexico. That's your first answer. The second answer is this. There is absolutely no test on the face of the planet for ibogaine or psilocybin. It doesn't even. I did the research, or some of the guys who were airline guys did more research than me. They're like, no. It would be like a 32 panel test, and it's like $12,000 to do the test. Whatever. So it's physically impossible. Drew, wish I could join when I have more funds. I'll be back. Until then, I'll be watching for the free content. Thanks, Drew. Do me a favor. I'll send out a link for Solo Amazon Monday morning. Solo Amazon's only $97 a month. So if you at least want to, dip your toe in, it's $97, man. It's a round of drinks. So join me Monday morning, brother, and and it's $97. So Tony, glad you asked that. If you want to, Tony, if you want to shoot me an email, I can connect you with some airline dudes, since you're a vet and you're an airline dude, you're in the network, you're in the cone of trust. There's and so it's funny, Tony, because let me get this straight. The FAA or our government would have a problem with you taking the weekend off and healing? Or would they rather you keep lying for the rest of your life? I had a buddy who flew F-16s. He's like, Wiz, I've been in therapy for 15 years and I pay cash to the lady because I don't want Uncle Sam to know. Are you fucking kidding me? 15 years of therapy versus a weekend in Mexico. So, Tony, this is coming. It's the psychedelics, the doctor assigned, as part of our No Fallen Heroes project was a 32-year Navy flight surgeon, and he's an AME. He's an FAA doc, and he is on point on this. That we're gonna. I'm come on 3,900. I would love nothing more, Tony, than to be sitting in front of Congress at a green tablecloth with a glass of water talking about this, because I didn't give a shit. I own 2 L-39s. What's the FAA going to do? Throw me in FAA jail? I'm going to fly my fucking airplanes. I am healed. I've never been better in my life. I was a shit show in the past, and I was flying airplanes. Now you're going to have a problem with me healing? John, solo Amazon is not only Amazon, it's more excellent content. Thank you, John. Exactly, Ken. 10% of the country has depression. Airline pilots don't. Yeah. If anything, airline pilots probably have more depression right now since they're flying everybody to FAA, the limits of their maximum allowed by law. And in some cases, trying to get guys and gals to break the law and fly over. 1111, folks. That's a synchronistic number, and I went too long. Gave you some of the names. You join me next week for Accelerated Retirement. We will go deeper into the psychedelic names and what we're going to put some capital forward. Today was just kind of open the doors and show the free folks what we do in AR. Because right now, folks, in old AR, we'd be getting long-term bullish on an Amazon, on a Google, not a Google. I say when in doubt, run to Ma. When in doubt, run to Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. If you put money in Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon right now and never looked at it again, you'd be rich. I can't say that with certainty. When there's a risk of a nuclear war in 3 other places around the globe, raging inflation, right now, it's very hard for me to grab my binoculars and look downrange past this massive storm in front of us and see clear skies on the other side of it. I know intuitively. I don't know. You know what? I don't know intuitively. The world will end, guys, at some point. So the guy on the exit ramp of I-95 holding the sign that says the end is near, he's going to be right one day. But the only space that I can see through the clouds and see sunshine is this space, is psychedelics, because it can heal. I am living proof, man. You all who have been here for a couple of years have seen that. You've seen me transition, which has just been fantastic. And the fact that a lot of you have healed or done the medicine and are telling others, this is, we are part of a movement right now. We are part of a movement. I'm glad you found this since you have a soapbox. Thank you, Rick. I'm telling you, man, even if I didn't have a microphone, so to speak from, I'd be telling as many people I can. Also been listening to the podcast, really enjoying them. Love hearing about the healing. Awesome. I appreciate that, man. All right, guys, I can't do anything else. So add $1,400. Add 1,400 to 7. We made about 80. I've shown $8,300 in profit this week. If you're not ready to buy something for $295, $497, or $29.95 after being shown profits of over $8,000, I don't know what to tell you. I told you the first night, I'm like, I'm not going to sell anything. It's going to sell itself. So, Tony, I have seen your patience and with stupid questions has increased 1,000% over the last 5 years. Tony, there is a compliment in there, and I choose to take that. So thank you for the compliment. I'll be the first one to tell you guys, I am a completely different person. Every once in a while, I have a tinge of regret, but then I close my eyes, I tap in the source and the Holy Spirit, and it goes, dude, present today, whether it was not being the best husband or father that I could, I have now. I woke up, man, with air in my lungs, a roof over my head, my beautiful bride, a cup of coffee, My oldest son studying for his private pilot's license, Keely and Jack at school right now, sitting in a live trade brief with you guys. I could not be more humbled and grateful. So this is the time I say, hey man, Drew, I'll see you Monday. Solo Amazon. It's the same link. I added a free live trade brief, man. And I used to love going to conferences in Vegas and stuff because people, my quote competitors, give me shit all the time. Nobody does this, guys. Nobody opens up and shows you what they currently do. They only show you what they've potentially done, and they get to cherry pick. Oh, yeah, look at all these great trades. When were those, and why can't I see what you're doing right now? Well, you have to buy it first. I don't do that. I do the exact opposite. You came in and walked around our fighter squadron. You saw six victories and 1 loss. That's a pretty damn good success rate. If you're not ready to get airborne, maybe Solo Amazon is for you on Monday or next Friday. I'll write that down. You're going to get to meet Bart because I think he's horizontal on the couch, he said, after being at the Maldives. So there's the link, folks. This is obviously the best deal. This one right here. If you want to just try the investment club and full throttle for a couple months and then upgrade into this, awesome. Welcome aboard. If you want to dip your toe in, the dip your toe is right there. It's only $295, folks. All right. Couple of questions before I head out. And yes, I will. I'll get the replay posted. Aaron, since we are going to 3,900 now, where are we going tomorrow? Most likely through 3,900. Let's go take a very good question, Aaron. I like the way you think. Aaron, if we don't hold, because let's look at tomorrow. What do we have? There is some inflation. Yeah, man. At 10 a.m., we get inflation and consumer sentiment. If these numbers aren't good, so it's a great question, Aaron. If we don't hold, look, because 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3,900. I told you back here, as soon as I said 3,900 by Friday. If we don't hold 3,900, man, that's a lot of altitude. We might be heading down to some June lows. Remember what I told you? We have seasonality going on right now. I told you that we could have a mid-September to a mid-October shit show in here. So if we don't hold 3,900, it's look out below. I will pound it into the dirt. Let's go look at the SPX. Look at this, folks. Last September, we had an implosion. Here's your September, October shit show. It's seasonal. I've done this for over 3 decades. Anecdotally, I'm going to say 95% of the time. Because last year we were going up, we were rising. I'm like, maybe this year is the year that slam. I'm like, okay, idiot. Maybe the stove isn't hot this time. I mean, we traded and we made money. I'm just saying that I was kind of scratching my head as we got into September and nothing was happening. And then we got buried. This was a big September, October shit show. So long answer to your short question, Aaron. If we don't hold 3,900, I will dub the official beginning of the September, October shit show, and we'll pound it into the dirt. Good question. Tony, update on paper trading account. Hit $404,000 since this morning and started in January with $100,000. Look at Tony, man. He's doing exactly what he should. Look at that. You see that? It says Marcus, my brother. I took this the other day. He was just calling to check in. He posted a video of the other day of him stepping away from the foundation. I need to talk to Marcus, but he understands I need to finish my live trade brief. Yeah, big. Tomorrow's a quad witch expiration, isn't it? So yeah, like we'll see if we bounce off of here, man. Implosion, bounce, implosion, bounce, implosion, bounce. We'll see. If you join right now and you get into the hunters, you'll see what I'm going to do the rest of the day. Actually, what I'm going to do the rest of the day is stand up and go get some more coffee and stretch. Dave, I pity the fool who doesn't join. You know what? I actually do too, because I can't do anything more than show you that we made over $8,000 in SPX trades this week. I can't. Thank you, God, first of all, for doing that. I was about to say I could have lost $8,000 in SPX trades this week, but I would have had to have sucked. That happens, but it didn't. Thankfully, I sucked less than I do more. Does that make sense? All right, guys, I got to go. I'm going to get the replay posted on the replay page. This is your last opportunity to get to the replay page. I'll leave the replays up here, obviously, because people like watching them over the weekends. I appreciate all the nice comments and everything, and you are welcome for the free training. I run a charity, but I'm not a charity. You got to join after this point. Again, people give me shit at those conferences, like, why don't you charge and you give all this shit away and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, maybe you're scared of what these people will see if you tried to do something like this. I'm not. If I had screwed up this week, you would have seen me screwing up live. I had that one losing trade, but it was part of an iron condor. So technically, the trade didn't lose as much as it could have. So, but we debrief everything, man, the good, the bad, and the other. Oh boy. President Biden delivers remarks on the Rail Labor Pact. Okay. Where's Mayor Pete? Isn't that his job, like the Secretary of Transportation, to whatever? Maybe that's why Mayor Pete isn't standing up there, because he knows he's going to probably run for the nomination. Yeah, the YouTube, this is the YouTube video of my initial medicine journey debrief. You bet. I'll put that in the chat box one last time. And yes, the podcast is called Max Afterburner right here. If you're not an Apple podcast person, it's on Spotify as well and the other podcast platforms. All right, guys, I got to go. Good morning. Great morning. It's always a good morning. Maya Angelou. What a beautiful day. I don't think I've seen this one before. You've never seen this day before, and you will never see it again. So let's live in the present. Welcome aboard to all the new TGO members. You're not just joining TGO, you're joining a squadron of just diverse folks who are about not only self-improvement in themselves, but self-improvement in their trading, right? You join the hunters today, either with the 497 or the annual. I will see you in here shortly, and you'll see what I'm going to do. That's a nice bounce off 3,900, man. So shameless plug. If you join right now, you're going to see what I'm going to do with that big bounce on the S&P 500. You're welcome for the $1,400 this morning. And I can't do any better than that, literally. So, all right, guys, welcome aboard. I'll see. I will open up the doors to Solo Amazon Monday morning. It's not part of Full Throttle. So if you join Full Throttle and you're like, this is awesome, and I also want Solo Amazon, come by Monday, because you're going to have to sign up separately for that. It's only $97 a month, folks. That's our least expensive service here at Top Gun Options. Okay. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. Fights on, and namaste. If you are in Tomcat charts, you got Bart. I think he's alive and back tomorrow morning. You got Bart tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. as I go do my podcast. All right, guys, God bless, and fights on. We'll see you.